The following is a presentation of Manatee Schools Television in association with TV production teachers and students.
Again, we thank you all for coming out tonight for this momentous occasion. It's not often that we're able to give flowers to those who deserve it while they're still here with us. And tonight we truly have a legend in Manatee County sports history, a Palmetto High School legend. One of the greatest players to ever come out of Palmetto, Florida. A mentor, a father, a coach, and with the we are retiring tonight the jersey of Mr. He's a class of 1977. Any of you who grew up around that time around here know that there were fans lined up for 2 to 3 hours for games to get in the gym and see those shoes jump high in the air and everybody's head. They'll be so proud that fans had to look through the windows. He was ranked number 3 in the country, only behind Darnell Valentine, who was a teammate of his, and the one Urban Magic Johnson. He was so good that almost not drafted by the Pistons out of high school. Back in those days, the hardship rule was different. He holds now the highest scoring record of 2,274 points, and that's when the 3-point line was around he was shooting from there out of the test. He was a almost All-American. He started his career at Kansas and ended up playing at Georgia with the great Dominique Wilkins. He came home and gave back his community as he continues to do. He coached here at Palmetto High School with some great teams for 7 years. So let's give him a great big hand. Again, let's give them a big round of applause for a little bit more power. And now, for the the Southeast Seminoles, coached by the East is in the house. Starting from the Seminoles, number 0 to Tavares Powell. Number 1, Patrick Dawes. Number 4, Diamond Scott. Number 5, Palmetto. And number 13,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. We have a big match in the west of Florida as we are at the home of the Tigers in Palmetto, as a lot of great events are going on, and the Southeast Seminoles are looking to take away the glory from this day by getting a win on the court. I'm joined by Mr. William Porter, who joined me last time on the broadcast. Great to have you back. How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. It's great to be back. I mean, there's a lot of pregame festivities as we were watching, as we were getting ready to go live, as Mr. Wilmore Fowler, class of 77, had his jersey retired after an amazing career here, as he was a McDonald's All-American, being the 3rd best guard nationally in the class of 77. And then after leaving Palmetto, he went and had a good career at Kansas and Georgia.
Yeah, an amazing player. At one point, ranked top 3, only surpassed by a few players. One of the names you might know as Magic Irving Johnson. So an absolute legend and a gift of basketball. And we love to give the flowers to the legends while they're here. As Palmetto and Southeast are battling back and forth. We caught Southeast last time we were live at Lakewood Ranch High School. Palmetto letting off a 3, doesn't go. Rebounded by the Tigers. Back to the top of the key, number 5, Randall's going to be controlling this one. Going to get the screen, waves it off. But again, we saw Southeast last time at Lakewood Ranch High School, where we saw the heart and soul of this team fighting to take a W against the Mustangs, I believe. And we're here to see that heart be shown again against one of their biggest rivals. They go down the court, kicks it to the outside, dumps it on the inside, and they're going to lay it up and in. Powell, Tavares Powell, someone we saw who was streaking up the court a lot last time, just being a weapon for this team. Back the other way for the Tigers. Back at the top of the key, dancing is Ingram. Ingram's going to swing it over to the other wing. They're going to go inside, dribble drive to the middle, ball poked out from behind, recovered by the Tigers. Wide open 3, doesn't take it. Hop steps in the lane and sinks the jumper, Randall.
To add on briefly to what you were saying earlier about the Southeast team, and just to add on, they went to overtime last time. And I mean, this Southeast team just knows how to fight until the end. I mean, we're seeing it right now. They're already putting the pressure on this early.
Ball is loose, gets picked up by the Tigers on the ground. Going to go to a jump ball in favor of the Seminoles, so the Seminoles will keep possession. But 100% back to that point you were saying, last time we saw these teams face off, they went into overtime with Lakewood Ranch, and they battled back after allowing the Mustangs to take a little early lead to win that game. Ball being inbounded now by the Seminoles. Going to give it to Zian Scott, who's going to go down the lane, try to finish with the right hand, cannot, rebounded by his teammate Powell, and he's going to get the call. And the foul will be called on number 4 on the Palmetto side, as Powell goes to shoot 2 at the line. Coming into this game, both teams aren't doing the best, but one is doing a little bit better than the others. The Seminoles at 5-12, Palmetto at 4-10, and in districts, the Seminoles 0-3, and Palmetto at 1-2. So both teams with a lot to prove and a lot to essentially set themselves up to make a statement for next year about where they rank.
I completely agree, and I mean, as you all have seen, as this has started, I mean, both teams are applying the pressure, and they're just going for the ball. They're working hard. They're trying to keep that momentum and get things to swing in their favor as this game continues.
Shifty move from Powell off the miss of the free throw. He was able to get the bucket there, 5-2. Seminoles up by 3. Driving inside, they get a steal, back the other way, off balance throws. Powell catches. 3-on-1 situation. He tries to go into the harder defender, and they're calling a charge there. That'll be his first foul he's going to pick up on the night.
I really liked that pass right there by Sajay Andrews, just how he threw that over. We saw him just working hard last game, just going and just putting his body out there and diving for balls. And just, you'd love to see it.
And one thing about this Southeast team is that they're unselfish. They really don't care who scores as long as they can get the basket. They're willing to share the rock, share the sugar, and they all enjoy that sweetness together. Turnover for a traveling violation on the Tigers. And the Seminoles have it here. They're going to give it to Andrews to bring it up. He's going to get it ripped right from his hands and tries to get it back, but puts a little bit too much fingers on him. And that's going to be a foul called on him. His first of the night, team second in the quarter.
I just want to say this crowd is already electric. I mean, sometimes it's kind of hard to hear what's going on in the game just because they're getting loud, and you love to see it, especially at the high school level.
You love to see such enthusiasm from the community. Not only was it extremely hard to park, it was also extremely cold, and I had to walk all the way from the back as they take a deep 3 from the back. Doesn't go. Back the other way for the Seminoles. They almost cross over the line. Andrews going to get it out of his hands. Going to give it to Dawes. Patrick Dawes Jr., a point savant we saw last time, was giving out a lot of dimes and dishing out a lot of points to his teammates. He's going to go inside, take it himself, tries to go off the dribble, cannot go. Back the other way for the Tigers. Cutting through the lane. Ingram's going to get it out of his hands. And they're going to swing it over to Coleman. Jamarius Coleman at the top of the key, going to give it back over. Pops it. Ooh, what a great move. Doesn't hit the 3, rebounded by the Tigers, and it's going to be a foul.
Nice play.
He chopped his arm.
Nice play there by the Tigers, just getting it over and getting the guard off so you can take that shot. And I mean, even when they're going for the rebound, they're working already. They're trying to get these points on the board, as it's only a 5-2 game with Southeast having the lead right now.
A very shifty move there from the guard on the Tigers. Able to get a really clean look, just not able to knock down the jumper. Inside, a little Shaq bully ball, and one!
I will say, as I was just thinking about this, especially with the Southeast team, as we noticed last game, Southeast will start off strong in the beginning of each quarter, but then sometimes they try to let their guard down. And what I'm noticing now is that they've been shifting that, kind of like they did in overtime. And at the fourth quarter last game, they were just pushing. I mean, we're seeing that in the first quarter, so if that's what we're seeing so far, you know it's going to be a good game.
The Southeast team has a very high motor, and they can run all day long, especially with their starters. We didn't see much substitution, but when we did, we saw fresh bodies come off the bench and really make an impact on the game. Dawes is going to go to work. He goes inside, loses control, and they're going to call that ball in favor of the Tigers. This Palmetto Tigers team taking some big losses from last year. They had 2 great players in the Roberts brothers who aren't here. They're at PCS now, PHS. Palmetto Community High School always trips me up, and even though I was there when it was being built, but they were definitely a loss to this team. What a great step back move, and does not get the shooter's bounce. Back off the glass, doesn't go the other way for the Seminoles. Coming up the court now, Perkins, who's going to swing it over to Dawes. Dawes is going to dump it off to the big man, goes between his legs, They get it back, and the Tigers on a run. Kick it out to the open three. Ingram.
Bang.
Jumper.
Nice shot there by number 5, Jordan Ingram. Great shot there. You love to see it.
Great shot, great spacing, and great pace. Ingram able to leak out to that open three, set his feet, let it fly, and it goes. 5-3. And as much action we've seen so far, back and forth, a lot of turnovers, a lot of getting in there gritty, we don't really see that reflect on the points. You would think the game was a lot wider margins than what it is.
Exactly. It's just these defenses, they're working. Nice little play there. Step over.
Great job from the team there trying to Superman it. Could not get it to go in transition. Back the other way. Perkins is there. He's going to swing it over to the open man and run. Fields making his first appearance. He's going to drop that cross on him. Goes to the inside, gives it to Powell, who was an absolute menace last time they played. One of the highest scorers, especially on the inside. That size and that strength, he's able to use it well. Back the other way for the Tigers at the top of the key. Going to use the screen, going to pop it from deep and race it.
Wow.
Jamarius Coleman. Taking no shorts and no losses, falling away on that one, and still able to knock down the jumper. Back the other way for the Seminoles, a wide open Jay on the midi will not go. Tigers back the other way. Coleman pulls up. 2 pump fakes to the open man, and another from the same spot. Ingram.
Jordan Ingram is on fire tonight, and it has not even been a full quarter yet.
Absolutely. 2 amazing three-pointers wide open and knocking them down when his team needed it most from the corner. Great, great vision and unselfishness. If we saw in that last play, we saw 2 pump fakes right before it got to Ingram, and he was ready to go. And that's what you want to see. Ball movement and guys getting to that open space.
Exactly, and I mean, Southeast, if they don't start putting more pressure on that corner, they could have some real big trouble as this game progresses. But even to that, Southeast's defense overall has been really good, especially, I want to highlight him again, number 10, Wade Perkins, especially last game. Just he's commanding his team out there. He's putting on the pressure, play after play, on defense and on offense. As soon as the turnover, he's gone. He's ready.
100%. The Southeast team has been doing a great job hustling. Both teams playing sloppy right now. A lot of turnovers, but that's really due to great hustle on both sides. And the Seminoles are back the other way, giving it to Powell, who's going to swing it over. They're going to go dive inside and cannot get it to go, but they get the rebound. Don't get that one to go. The Tigers have it. Back the other way. They're going to swing it over to Coleman. Coleman with his hands. He's attacking the wing hard. Stops. Gives it a second to breathe. Ingram, another 3. Ooh. Doesn't make that one. Back the other way, Perkins, who's being guarded closely by Coleman. Perkins looking, surveying some backside action for the Seminoles. And they're going to swing it over to Powell. Powell's ISO on the corner. He's going to dump it to the inside cutter. And there's going to be a foul there. Foul called on number 1, Jamarius Coleman, as he fouled number 2, Cornelius Fields, who's at the line now.
I will say, Cornelius Fields last game also had such a good game, especially on offense. He was getting plays in, he was passing, he was setting screens, he was doing an amazing job.
He was doing a great job in there, especially for his team. He did a lot of great passing. I remember him specifically for sharing that rock.
I will say, if they let him get hot, Palmetto could have some trouble here.
Definitely so. 6-14, Palmetto up by a few. Coleman dancing. He's going to hand it off to his teammate, who's going to get absolutely stonewalled, able to stay on his feet, though. And he's going to give it back to Coleman in deep territory by the line. And Coleman's just going to lose it there. Going to get it back from his teammate, recovered by the Tigers. Coleman going to run him in, tries to give it to the corner. Another one! Another one!
Hot, hot, hot. Jordan Ingram.
Jordan Ingram now 3 from 3 from behind the line. Oh, what a great pass. And he's still able to get the finish after the bobble. Great pass there from Perkins, down low to Powell. Put a little extra Magic Johnson no look on there. And the Tigers are back the other way. Coleman giving it to Kelly. Kelly's on the wing, directing traffic.
Ingram's waiting.
Ingram is indeed waiting on the wing on the other side. They're directing him to come their way. Coleman looking for Ingram. Ingram not able to get the shot off. 40 seconds now, counting off the clock. They give it to Ingram. They're just passing it around. They're looking for the three. They let it fly.
Wow.
Robertson lets it go, and the Tigers are having an amazing night from three. I believe that might be 5 of 6.
I think you're right there, Frederick. And I mean, who needs 1s and 2s when you can just get easy 3s?
Easy 3s. Foul was called there on number 3, Zion Robertson. But this team has been absolutely on fire from beyond the arc. And that's why you see such a wide margin in the score. And great defense as well. Seminoles stampeding down the other way, tried to give him the foul, hits his hands, and goes out. He's able to throw it off a defender.
I will say, I really like how Palmetto is putting that pressure on as soon as Southeast gets the ball in. They are ready to take that ball back and try to shoot again.
That's one thing we saw from Southeast last time. They don't give teams a break. That one thrown behind the line is going to be a back and over turnover in the Tiger possession. But yeah, that's what we saw from the Seminoles last time. They really don't give you a break to catch up. As soon as they get the ball in, they're trying to get it out and beat you in transition. Tigers going to give it to their number 1 shooter right now, Jordan Ingram. He's going to walk it up with 15 seconds counting down and crosses half. Robertson fakes the pass to the corner. They're going to play some patty cake, looking to get it around, try to get guys open, try to get the zone moving that the Seminoles are playing. Ingram there, he just launches it. That one doesn't go. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first quarter completed, 8-20. What are you seeing out there right now?
Well, there's one word that comes to my mind right now: 3s.
3s, yes.
I mean, what a performance so far by Jordan Ingram. I mean, he has just been deadly in the 3s. And then there's another word that's popping in my head now, and it is just defense. Both of these teams, even though the score is 20-8 Palmetto, they are both putting on amazing pressure on defense. They are both putting their bodies out there. They're working to try to get that ball back, and just, you love to see it.
Absolutely. They've gone nuclear from beyond the arc, and they've gone nuclear on defense, really getting a lot of turnovers and making it tough for the Southeast team to really convert. You know, both teams have been getting offensive rebounds. Southeast have been getting offensive rebounds, but Palmetto sticks with the defense, making it hard for them to finish. And if you can't finish, you can't get any points. Ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. And I'm just trying to think about what Southeast's coach is saying to them right now. And all I can think about is just not to get their heads down, just keep pushing and just keep putting on the pressure on defense.
Definitely so. I mean, for a high school game to have 20 points in the first quarter, it's definitely a big margin. That's not typically what you see at this level. And you just got to tell the team to keep their head up, understand there's 3 more quarters to play. This is only the beginning, and you can turn around just like that. Palmetto Tigers are shooting absolutely insane from beyond the arc. Typically, teams don't carry that over in the quarter and corner. If they do, if you get beat on a team shooting 60, 50, 70% from 3, it was just their night to win. Tigers have it. Jordan Ingram with the ball in his hand. He's going to swing it over to the other wing. They're going to cut it across the court there. Ingram again, another pass. They're going to drive inside, tries the floater, misses the rim. Ball goes out of bounds on the Tigers.
Ball is being rebounded in by number 4, Zion Scott. What a game he had last time. As he's dribbling it up, he's looking for a pass. He's telling his boys to move up. As he's got Jordan Ingram on him, passes it over to number 13. He drives it in.
Tries to get that one to go. They're going to call a foul on Zion Robertson. That'll be his second foul, first team foul in the quarter. And walking up to the line, number 13, Sajay Andrews, who's an absolute stud for this team as well. He's, you know, one of the things about this Seminoles team is they have a lot of heart and they got a lot of hustle.
Exactly, and when his team needed him most last game against Lakewood Ranch, in a situation like this where he was at the line, he was there and he made the shots he needed to. And there's nothing better than a more reliable man on your team. As Palmetto just made a substitution as number 5, Jordan Ingram, goes out. What a performance by him.
Great so far. I believe he came into the game minus the 3 that he took in the last seconds there, but he had to be at least 4 for 4 or 4 for 5 for 3. Back the other way, but the Seminoles get the steal, and they try to finish, cannot, off the glass. Back the other way for the Tigers. Some fresh faces in here. Yeager Saunders in the game at number 23. As the captain, Paul Moore, goes to work.
I love how they're using their bodies, and a lot of them are just driving into the paint. No matter their size, they're ready to fight in the paint to get the ball up.
That's one of the biggest parts of the game, getting inside, trying to get those paint touches. Those are the highest percent of shots you can get in basketball. And when you get inside also, that makes the defense collapse. And the more the defense collapses, the more space you have on the perimeter.
Exactly.
They're going to work here. Coleman looking, trying to swing it over, but the Seminoles are guarding heavily, not allowing the Tigers any room to breathe. And a timeout now will be called by the Tigers. And so you see the Seminoles made an adjustment. Instead of allowing those players to roam freely on the perimeter, once they get a ball carrier stuck, they're guarding everyone else tightly, trying to make it as difficult of a pass as they possibly can.
Exactly. What a great change there by Southeast. Is they're putting on more pressure. They're trying to stop more points from being made from Palmetto, and they're ready to come back. They're just saying, don't count us out yet.
And you know, one of the things you see too is that the Seminoles got to do a little bit better job of finishing on the glass on the other end to get those buckets to go. They've had some tough buckets on the inside. If they throw maybe a pump fake in there, potentially get some more calls at the line. And they've also been missing some free throws as well. You can see Coach Woody over there telling his guys to keep their arms up, to keep the court as small as possible. Good work there from the Tigers to get an open floater, and it goes down. Coleman, courtesy of him, 22-9.
I love the selflessness from Palmetto's. They're just passing it around, waiting for something that they can shoot, and it's working out great for them so far tonight.
The Seminoles, Andrews at the logo, going around, calls for the screen and gets it. They're going to swing it over. On the wing, going to go inside, uses his body, and they're going to call a blocking foul there. On number 23, Yeager Saunders, going to be his first foul tonight. You see both the refs there kind of looking like they made the other decision. He gave it to the other one. They're going to call that a blocking foul. And at the line is number 10, Wade Perkins. A pure scorer and a good shooter on this Southeast team, and never afraid to get inside. He's done that multiple times, whether he's pulling up from the mid-range or crashing inside to potentially get away.
I will say, I like to think of all these players on the Southeast team, especially the ones we saw at that last game, just as like a unique piece of a puzzle. They all have their own good strengths, and when they come together, they're just a well-oiled machine.
Definitely so. This team has been put together, and again, you saw the scuffle right there. Both teams diving for that ball, but the Seminoles nor the Tigers are afraid to get in there and get scrappy. Going to go with the safe option here, airs it out to Perkins, who's going to swing it over to Powell. Powell hop steps inside, uses that length and size, and puts it right over the defender for 2. Full press defense incoming from the Seminoles. They're guarding each of their men closely. No more of the zone. Man coverage now. They're going to say, beat us one-on-one. The Tigers try to dribble inside. They can't go, get a little space, but he's smothered. They kick it out. Coleman from way beyond the arc, rips the 3, doesn't go. Seminoles able to win the rebound battle. Back the other way, Powell has it. He's going to go. Calls his own number, keeps dribbling, puts up a shot, tried to get a call there. The ref's not blowing the whistle. Coleman brings it back. I'm going to swing it over. The Tigers getting shifty on the wing, being guarded closely. Look at the defense. The defense is absolutely on another level there. a little bit too much contact. They're able to get the rebound. They're diving on the ground for it. And a timeout was called to save the possession.
Great defense there. I mean, if it's going to stay like this all night, it's going to be a really great game to watch.
Definitely so. The refs are letting them get physical. They aren't really too concerned about blowing the whistle on either side. So you're definitely going to be an exciting game, if anything.
I will say, it's always a good matchup when the refs are like that. They're just letting the boys play. Simple as that.
Yes, yes. Always an amazing matchup. When they let guys get out there offensively and defensively be physical. Don't let it be one way, and don't let it be to one team. 12-22 right now, a 10-point deficit for the Seminoles at this part of the second quarter. Right now, they've done well. It was 8-20, and they've held this Palmetto team in the time that's been spent only to 2 points. So they're winning the scoring battle so far in the second quarter.
Number 5 for Palmetto, Jordan Ingram is back in.
Jordan Ingram earlier who lit up the three-point line, hopefully coming in to make an impact for his team again. Back the other way for the Seminoles. Powell is there. He's dribbling. He goes on the inside. Kicks it out to Andrews. Andrews going to float it over to Perkins. Perkins takes it inside, drops it off to Andrews for the three. Hits the tip of the iron. Tigers rebound. Back the other way, going to give it to Coleman. Coleman's going to swing it over to Ingram. Ingram wide open, going to shoot the long two. Air balls. And that one's a scuffle, being tapped over to Coleman. Ingram sees it again, doesn't go for it, tried to whip past his opponent. Coleman's gonna have it at the logo, being guarded tightly. Gets the dribble, it's gonna be another jump ball. This one I should believe will go to the Tigers, yes. So it's gonna stay home.
Substitution being made for Palmetto as number 1, Jamarius Coleman gets subbed out for number 4.
I lied, it did, correction, it does go to the Seminoles. I didn't know if they did the flip of possession between quarters in high school, but they do. This one's gonna be a wide open three from Randall. He's gonna miss that one. Tigers back the other way. Coach Kenny Brown giving some commands from the sideline, telling his guys to get deeper in those corners, give some more space for him to work with. They're going to swing it over to Paul Moore. Moore there at the top of the key. He's going to drive inside, a big kid, and he's, oh my goodness.
Wow.
Blocked off the glass, back the other way for the Seminoles. Not able to finish. What a monster block there from Colin Randall.
I do want to say he almost took out one of our cameras there, and he went for that. What a play there.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's a high price to pay for such athleticism.
Nothing wrong with that.
Palmetto on the other side, not really able to get anything going so far. The Seminoles have tightened up on defense. They're going to give it to Jordan Ingram, who's going to back it out. They're on the wing now, dumping it to the big man down low. Traveling violation from Kelly.
I just want to say real quick, I was just watching Perkins as he's guarding Ingram, and it's just great defense there by number 10, Wade Perkins for Southeast. He's covering his guy. He's not giving up. He's not backing off. He's there for the challenges. He has the ball now as they drive in towards the net.
A great shift from Coach Woody. Absolutely switching to that man defense, knowing that his guys are athletic and can guard. What a great move there on the inside from Perkins. Spins into the defender and gets the contact from number 4. Perkins at the line, going to shoot his 2. And again, you know, in this time, as the second quarter is at 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the Seminoles have won the scoring battle so far. They've only held the Tigers to 2 points since the whole second quarter. And they're at 13th now, so they've cut the deficit down to 9. Back the other way. What a good move from Ingram. They're going to give it to Tigers trying to work from the wing. They give it to the big man once again. And a violation committed by the Tigers. So turned over to the Seminoles again. Team being plagued by turnovers. Saw a lot of turnovers from both squads. We're seeing even more, especially from the Tigers in this quarter.
All right, as Palmetto just made a substitution, number 4 and number 25 get subbed out for number 23, Yeager Sanders, and number 1, Jamarius Coleman.
Scott able to catch the net there on a running floater from the side. As the Seminoles are unrelenting with the defense here, dumps it off to the big man, absolutely stopped at the rim by Perkins. And the deep, oh, what a great pass and a great stop, a great block. Great offense and great defense on both sides. This rivalry is a rivalry for a reason, because both teams come to play tonight.
Exactly. It's been electric so far. The game, the coaches, I'm seeing Palmetto's coach get into it. He is yelling at his boys, making sure they put that work in. And then the crowd, too. We've heard them yell all night. And like I was saying earlier, sometimes I hear them over the own headset.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right now, Yeager Saunders is going to get his second foul of the night. And shooting at the line is number 4, Ian Scott.
Southeast is doing a great job just to cut that deficit. And like you were saying earlier, they've held Palmetto to just 2 points. And it's just, you love to see it. And that just tells us whatever their coach said and the changes they made on their defense is working. And if they can just keep that up for the rest of this quarter and the second half, who knows which way this game could go.
You know, these refs are letting them play physical, and that plays right into Southeast game plan right now with on-ball defense. As you can see, Powell able to tap that one away from Ingram. But when you allow them to get physical and play man-to-man defense, and you have athletes, as you can see on both ends, both teams having athletes, especially these Seminoles, that plays right in their hands, because you have to beat them to the basket. And they're getting physical as they get another strip there. They're able to recover. The Tigers down low, goes to work, and one. Yeager Saunders able to break the curse of the 2-2 and goes into the 2-4. Looking to complete the and-one play at the line. I believe he was fouled by number 10, Wade Perkins. And he laces it. Perkins over to Scott, back to Perkins himself. He's going to be the man to bring it over half court, being guarded by Saunders. Perkins at the logo, some action going on the backside. Didn't get the look he wants. Not going to hand it off. They're going to go all the way. Wide open three for Dawes, who touches from the top of the backboard. Back the other way, Ingram going to go in. Nice duck off pass. He's going to roll in for Kelly.
That ball was trying to give us some more suspense to add on to the already high emotions of this game.
Oh, yeah. Perkins calling some plays, throws up an X symbol. And they're going to go to work. They're waving them on the backside there as they go into motion. Going to give it to Davila, who's going to drop it off to Dawes Jr., who's going to get it beat off the glass by Saunders. Back the other way from Ingram. He's going to stop and float that one in for an easy basket.
Wow.
29-17.
I just want to say I love how Perkins, as soon as he gets over there, as you can see, he is just commanding his team. He is telling them what they need to do, and he is just trying to take the lead here to help get something going.
6 seconds and counting. They need to work fast, and they do too. They shoot up the floating bucket, and it goes. A jumper off the elbow is money as we head into the third quarter and second half of this amazing rivalry in the home of the Tigers. 19-29, Tigers up, and the Seminoles down by 10. Mr. Port.
What an electric game it's been so far. I mean, we're going to keep talking about him all night. Jordan Ingram for Palmetto. To start off that game, he was hot, hot, hot. Threes from the corner. He's shooting floaters. He's going, and he is taking the charge here for Palmetto. And I'm going to talk about Southeast now, too, because, I mean, their defense, as we were seeing right there, they were holding their own against Palmetto really well. I mean, like I said, Wade Perkins just taking the charge, and just he was ready to block, and he was telling his team what needs to be done if they want to get something going.
100% both sides. You see Jordan Ingram, who's been lighting it up. You also see number 23, Yeager Saunders, who's been absolutely instrumental for him on defense, getting a few blocks himself and stopping a couple of big plays. You got Coleman, who's holding down the rock, you know, making sure he's passing and sharing the sugar and sharing the spice and everything nice. For Southeast, one of the greatest things they did was the great shift by Coach Woody, telling them to get from that zone into that man defense and play aggressive and force guys to beat them off the dribble, which Palmetto has had a little bit of success from, but not as much. They've gotten a few of their buckets mostly in transition and off offensive rebounding. Also for Southeast, Powell has been a monster for them, especially Perkins as well, getting down low and getting downhill, causing the defense to collapse, and not only doing that, but grabbing rebounds and going back up and getting the call and getting the whistle. Exactly.
It's just, I'm at a loss for words. This game has been insane so far. Just the emotions. It's electric in here. And I mean, who knows which way this game could go. Even though it is a 10-point game, we saw Southeast come up from worse last game. And we saw how they can just flip a switch and take charge.
Definitely so. I mean, only up to the last few minutes of the second quarter, they were holding them to only 2 points in the second quarter, which is absolutely phenomenal for this team. But ladies and gentlemen, big rivals, big game, big time, big show. Ladies and gentlemen, MSTV, don't go anywhere just yet, because we got more amazing basketball action for you after the break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the second half of this amazing basketball game here in Palmetto is starting back up. If you're just joining us, it is 29 Palmetto, 19 Southeast, and what a game it's been so far. We've seen just amazing plays, especially for number 5, just leading the charge for Palmetto, Jordan Ingram, and then the defense by number 10, Wade Perkins on Southeast. Great defense to start off there by number 13, Sajay Andrews. He is just, so far in this game and the last game for the game of the week, he's just been playing great defense and just putting that pressure on nonstop.
Traveling violation makes me laugh. He made him pick it up, and he had nothing, no answers to do but to walk. We're back at it, ladies and gentlemen, MSTV in the home of the Tigers as they take on one of their biggest rivals, Southeast.
Number 10, Wade Perkins, he's dancing as he puts the shot up. It goes off, but the rebound is picked up and is put up. And nice little play there by number 0, Tavares Powell.
On my quick field trip, great job from the Tigers. They're going. He's going to get fouled. As Kelly tried to go up, looked like he might have tried to go a little slam cam.
Yeah, he was ready to take Brooklyn out with our camera.
Shout out to Brooklyn. She kept her composure. She didn't even move. She was like a statue. While I was on recess for the halftime break, I was able to talk to a few coaches, especially Coach Woody, and he told me that they're going to have an electric second quarter here, and they already are at only 9 points down now.
Like we were saying, this happened exactly with the last game we saw them play against Lakewood Ranch. They were a little rocky, I will say, for the first half, but as soon as they got into that second half, Southeast was just pushing, and going off on their defense, and you love to see it, just how they can, I want to say, just like recompose, and just be ready and just readjust to the changes. Definitely so.
As the Tigers are looking to show that zone there, they cut inside, gonna dump it off. That one's thrown away by Andrews. But the Tigers having a 2-1-2 zone, keeping one guy in the middle and 2 on the front and 2 on the back end. Trying to really clog up that paint and not allow them to get inside like they want to. Seminoles going for a full court look here. As they get it over half, the Tigers have space. Coleman slips there. He's going to swing out to Ingram. Ingram's going to give it to Elliott. Elliott in the middle, back to Ingram from the 3. Does not go. The Seminoles are back the other way, a 2-on-2 situation, and they finish. Scott with the great move to the left shoulder. Able to get inside, do work, and get some baskets.
Great play by Scott there. He was just flying his way on in.
Flying in, full head of steam, but graceful little twinkle toes. Able to fall in there. 5-second violation. 10-second violation from the Tigers. So that's going to be another turnover. And now the deficit's only at 7. Coach Woody not disappointing, letting me know they're going to see an explosive second half, from the Seminoles, and we are.
We love seeing a man of his word.
We do. We do. He's definitely being 100% man of his word. Good work there. Andrews on the wing being guarded by Elliott. Going to use the screen. Kicks it out. A deep 3. Doesn't go. Rebounded by the Tigers. Back the other way. Ingram's going to be the one to bring it over. Being guarded closely by Powell. Tigers dancing. They're going in motion. Doesn't use the screen. Goes the other way. Elliott between the legs, his signature. Swings it back to Ingram, who has a little space. He lets it fly. And it goes in.
Ingram is back. He is here to let the people know he is not going to stop shooting threes, and he's here to make them too.
He's absolutely not shooting threes. A baker's dozen and some. I believe he's at 15 points. Definitely the leading scorer on the squad so far. Great job from Perkins. Goes into the teeth of the defense and gets rewarded with a foul call on number 23, Jaeger Saunders, to be his 3rd. Correction there, call that one his 2nd. And the first team foul for the Tigers. And some conversation going on between the ref and Coach Kenny Brown. First one's good for Perkins.
I will say Perkins and just a lot of the Southeast team, I've come to notice these past 2 games, it's just when they get shots like these, they use it to almost gain some momentum and kind of pull some energy their way and try to get things to sway in their favor.
Definitely so, and you know, again, Southeast leading the points charge. It's only 33-25 now. This is the shortest margin. What a great play right there from number 10, Wade Perkins. Seen the defender lower that shoulder, took it to the chest and fell back. Amazing heads-up play from him.
I will say, I think it's kind of funny there. After that, Kelly looked and he looked at the ref and he shook his head because he knew what he did. He accepted it. We love to see that sportsmanship with the refs there.
You gotta love the good gamesmanship. You know, one of the things about it is tough being a ref. You're never right, especially when you're making a call against the opposite team. Hop step in there, but gets stuffed. Andrews is now gonna have it at the logo. Gonna swing it over to Scott. Scott's looking. Gonna give it back to Andrews on the wing. He's calling for the screen. Or tells Scott to get in position. He's gonna cut through. They're going to give it to Perkins. Perkins is now on the wing, being guarded by Elliott. To Scott now, being guarded by Kelly. Perkins is going to go inside, traveling violation. Perkins trying to do what he does best. A big kid, he can get in there, a big wing in the middle at 6'1". So he's able to get inside and go to work, especially on this team, but not able to do it cleanly there. Ingram going to work, dribbling, being guarded close. Moore had it, now he gives it to Elliott, who stops and pops. Cannot get it to go. Back the other way. Perkins is gonna swing it over. They're on the inside. Southeast is on the move, gets it off the glass, doesn't go, rebounded by the Tigers. They're gonna call a foul. And we're gonna see who the ref calls it on. It's going the way for the Tigers. Give that to number 5, Colin Randall. That'll be his 3rd foul of the night, so he's up in foul trouble. And the Tigers gonna have Elliott inbound this one. Tigers back the other way. Elliott gonna bring this one over, gives it over to Ingram. He's directing traffic on the backside. Ingram being guarded by Powell. Powell runs to the screen. Ingram wide open again for 3. Not able to knock that one down. They're wide open. Powell has the open lane to take off. Oh! Tavares Powell taking off and slamming it home. Amazing, amazing.
We love to see plays like that. And number 4 for Southeast, Scott was clapping up for his boy right there. Nice play there.
And they're going to call a foul.
And speaking of Scott, he just got his 1st foul of the night.
That he did. His first foul for Scott there. 27-33. The game is even closer than ever. Back the other way, Scott makes up for it by getting a 3, bounces it off his own teammate's face. I don't think Perkins is ready for that one. Let's check the replay.
Just kidding.
Back the other way for the Tigers, being guarded heavily. Absolutely locked down. No air to breathe. Ingram being guarded by Powell on the wing, and he's in his business. They're going to get it out of his hands and give it to Robertson. And Robinson's going to give it to Kelly, and Kelly's going to give it to Coleman, and Coleman's going to shoot a deep 3 from beyond the arc, and that's going to touch the top of the rope there, and that's going to be called out, and a full timeout called by the Tigers. Coach Kenny Brown absolutely could not be happy with how the second half is starting right now for the Tigers.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, especially how they played that first half, as we saw. I mean, Ingram was going off. They were getting points. They were taking charge. And like I kind of want to say foreshadowing that earlier with the Seminoles, how we saw them do the same exact thing last game. They started off not the greatest in the first half, but then they came into the second half strong and just persistent. And we saw them take charge. And now, I mean, I want to say it was a 10-point deficit when we went to the half. We went in around there. And now, I mean, look, it's only a 6-point game.
100%. Again, you see the Southeast team, they're just very aggressive and they're playing tough on-ball guarding defense. Right now, they're forcing the Tigers to try to beat them off the dribble. And the Tigers haven't really had much success doing that. Other than getting a few trips to the line, they've been shooting a lot of deep threes or views from beyond the arc that haven't been falling as much as they did in the first half. And I foreshadowed that earlier because most teams aren't typically going to be shooting 60 to 50% from three all game. And if they do, they're destined to win.
Exactly, you're right. As the Seminoles they're ready to go. As we got number 13, Sajay Andrew.
Perkins on the wing being guarded tight now. The Tigers pulling out their zone here. Still in the 1-3-1. Switching it from that 2-1 setup they had earlier. Andrew's going to shoot a deep three. Settled for the shot, does not go. Back the other way. Ingram's going to bring it over. He's going to work. Being guarded by Powell. The matchup they've seen, he's really on him. Not giving Ingram much space to work off the dribble. Andrew's going to be guarding Coleman tight. Who's going to get loose from him, dumps it off to the big man on the inside. They try to get it out. That one's off the leg of Coleman after Powell knocked it into him. So again, turnover, or big three shot, not going, not the brand of basketball you want to play.
Exactly.
Seminoles doing a good job clogging up that middle there, tried to force the kick out, couldn't go, and that was a turnover on that one. Back the other way, Perkins is gonna have it now. Give it to Andrews. Andrews tried to swing it over to Scott. Scott took off. A little miscommunication there.
Seems like both teams here are just having a little bit of trouble with their miscommunication. And it's definitely something I can tell that Southeast's coach, that Mr. Woody wants to fix.
Definitely so. I mean, both teams have been really reckless with the ball the whole game. I would say the Tigers a little bit more than others. Ingram trying to get inside there, had an open look, couldn't finish. And they're scrambling and scraping for it at the bottom there. Jump ball will be called in favor of the Seminoles. And I believe last time it was on the Tigers, and we didn't have another jump ball, and so due to the switch of the quarter and the half, Seminoles got it there, so it should swing over. The next one will be towards Palmetto. Carrying violation there, as Powell ends up on the ground. Another turnover.
I will say, as this game's going on, as this quarter's been going on, I can tell that the emotions are just getting higher and higher, and tensions are just rising.
This is a huge game, you know, not only for, you know, both of these teams, but for the local community. There was a time where it was only Southeast, Palmetto, and Manatee running, you know, all the school and athletics in the county. And so now, you know, these wounds run deep. There's a lot of amazing talent that's come through here, a lot of rivalries, a lot of uncles and aunties and brothers and sisters who played each other on this court, and now their grandchildren and nieces and nephews are playing each other. So this is more than just a basketball game. This is essentially bragging rights for the whole year.
Exactly, and this may be too far, but I want to say that this rivalry can be compared to Ohio State and Michigan, just about how heated we've seen it. Maybe a big claim, but
I think that might be a little bit of a big claim as we get a big shove there and a foul.
I'm just saying.
Foul be called on number 5, Colin Randall, picking up his 4th. So no room for error there, as he will be deep into foul trouble.
Palmetto just makes a substitution as number 20, Paul Moore, gets subbed out for number 23, Jaeger Saunders.
Ingram coming over the court. Going to swing it over to his teammate Robertson. Robertson going to put it down to Saunders. Saunders going to work like a big man should. Gives the right hand floater and gets the bounce off the back iron. Immediately effective as he checks into the game. And although the Seminoles have put up a good front here, the Tigers are still, keeping this game quite competitive. Almost up by 10. Back the other way for the Seminoles as they go to work. Tries to swing it heavy and hard. Powell not ready for it. They give it to the three-point master. He's behind the line, open.
Bang!
Do not give him any open looks from behind the line because he will knock them down. Ingram's been absolutely ecstatic and absolutely amazing. A good bump there to get the defender off of him. They're not able to finish. And the jump ball will be in possession of the Tigers now.
Four seconds left here in the third quarter. It's going to be interesting to see if Palmetto can make anything happen with those 4 seconds.
That it will. The other way. Tigers. They get a shot off and it touches the rim. Not able to be knocked down, but they end the third quarter up by 11. So again, it's going to be a challenging game for the Seminoles to come back. And although the Seminoles have caused a lot of turnovers and although they've been playing great defense, they really have not seemed to be able to close that scoring gap as much as you would like for them to have.
No, exactly. And actually, during, like you said, during our little recess earlier, while you were talking to some of the Southeast coaches, as I was walking outside to feel that cold air, I talked to Palmetto's assistant coach, Jamie Roberts, and we were just talking briefly about Ingram, and then we were talking about that point difference, and he said to me, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit because I don't remember exactly what he said, but I said that they were playing good offensively, and he said, well, we only got 9 points in that second quarter when we should be at 50 points.
I said it earlier that Southeast did an amazing job that second quarter really holding the Tigers back, and they use that to their advantage, but still you still see them at an 11-point differential, which is not impossible, but definitely tougher as we get with only 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Exactly, but even though there's only 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you never know what could happen. We could possibly see potentially another overtime game thanks to the Southeast Seminoles.
We definitely could. They came out hot that third quarter playing that press defense, and due to the contributions of number 5 Jordan Ingram, who's definitely the highest scorer, has to be at least close to 20 points, if not already breaking that barrier. This Tiger team has been absolutely, riding him and some other players too, like Jaeger Saunders has been able to get them defensively going and getting a few clutch baskets here and there.
Exactly, and it's definitely going to be a very emotional and high-tension fourth quarter as it is underway here in Palmetto.
Seminoles letting Andrews take the lead on this one. He's at the top directing traffic. Andrews, who's always a crafty passer, been throwing him a little bit too hard, or his teammates have not been ready. Been getting himself a few turnovers that way. What a great pass there. That goes into a turnover. Great pass from Perkins. No looking over the top to his teammate. They're back the other way. Ingram again being guarded by Powell. And he's trying to go off the dribble and he doesn't. That one goes out of bounds. Tipped by the Seminoles. Wide open shot right there. Going to touch the back iron and miss. Seminoles have the runway. Unable to hold on to it. And it's going to be back in Tiger possession.
It's great to see how Palmetto is they're pushing. They're trying to keep their lead and expand it. And I will say they're doing a good job at holding their own right here. Even though the second half got off to a rocky start, they're doing pretty decent now with just how they're playing this offense. They're passing the ball around, they're moving.
That they are. They definitely keep the ball in motion, trying to get on the inside. That one goes out of bounds on the pass to Coleman. Hit his hands and slip right through him. But yeah, both teams really playing a similar game, trying to get inside and trying to, you know, make the defense collapse, kick out to the shooter. Right now, Perkins going to float it over to Andrews. He's going to throw it to the corner. Being guarded heavily. Back to Andrews. He's at the top of the key. Going to give it over to Scott. Scott's going to drive inside and gets pushed there. Came in hard, kind of went up. Coleman bit the bait and then fell on top of him and pushed him. And now he's going to get subbed out there for number 4, Elliott. As the Seminoles are trying to mount a comeback here, they're still down 11. That one inbounded. They're going to swing it over the field. Someone we haven't seen as much as we saw him in Lakewood Ranch, but he's going to make his 4th quarter appearance in crunch time. He's going inside, loses control, back the other way. Robertson has an open lane, lays it up for the easy basket. 40-27 with 6:20 to go. Scott's going to bring it up for the Seminoles. And he crosses half court. Some backside action there, gets the screen, doesn't decide to use it, steps back on the 3, heavily contested. And turnaround jumper for Perkins as he tried to lay it up, gets clobbered as he goes up the middle.
I will say just much respect to Perkins, as we've been talking about not just this game, but all of last game too. Every time we've seen him play, he goes out there and he puts his body on the line. He's using his size to drive in, and if he gets put on the ground, we see him get right back up every single time. He is not a quitter, and you love to see that.
Absolutely. Fouled by number 23, Jaeger Saunders. I believe that's his 3rd foul of the night. Correction, it should be his 4th foul of the night. As we have going here, Mr. Perkins. Who laces both of his free throws. Again, heavy press. We've seen this before, but even heavier from the Seminoles as they're trying to make it as difficult as possible for these Tigers to score. Getting in between there, good job from Fields. He's going to give it to Perkins. Perkins goes inside, able to keep it in his pocket, and throws it off the glass, 31-40. They're back to it, no breaks, all gas. Perkins guarding him closely, rides him all the way up to the wing, and he's going to go inside and try to lay it up, and gets the foul call. Number 20, Paul Moore. Perkins' 2nd foul there. If we check the replay, what a great job from Fields getting in between there, and Perkins able to stash it on his hip, kept control of it and laid it up off the glass for the good transition basket. The other way. They're going to work. Davila is someone we haven't seen as much either. Scott at the top of the key with it. They're looking to get points quick. Davila is there. He's going to swing it over to Scott. He's going to bust the 3. Doesn't go. Tipped and saved by Powell. Scott goes inside, tries to throw it off the right hand, can't get the bounce. That one's going to be tipped out and rebounded by the Tigers. Back the other way. Coleman swings it up to Robertson. Robertson goes off the glass, can't get it to go. Back the other way for the Seminoles. Fields has it. He gives it over to Davila. Davila banks it off. Can't go either. Back the other way, rebounded by Anthony Hill. Given to Elliott. Elliott pushing it up the court. He's looking for the corner man. He gets him. He's going to go inside, stops, and travels.
It's a simple mistake that'll get you every single time.
Definitely so. In the heat of the moment, guys stop, but they're still sliding, or they try to pivot and they move their feet. Not what you want to see coming down the stretch. as the Seminoles are in game clock management mode, letting the ball run, trying to save every precious second as they are down 10. Davila looking to get the three, does not travel there. Shoots the jumper on the elbow, misses. Back the other way for Coleman, who's getting absolutely mobbed. Moore has it, gives it back to Coleman. Crosses over half court, being guarded by Davila. Coleman's gonna go, throw the floater in and out of the rim, rebounded and fouled on the ground. It's gonna be called on number 13, Sajay Andrews. That'll be his third, team second foul in the fourth quarter. Absolutely rough game right now for the Seminoles as they're looking down the barrel of the clock. We're only 4:15 and down 10, and another foul there. His second foul, team's third foul. And Elliott being guarded closely, getting double teamed there, and a jump ball, which will be called in favor of the Seminoles.
I just want to highlight this again, because I know we've highlighted it for Perkins, but for both teams here, they're just going out there, putting their bodies on the line over and over again. If they hit the ground, I mean, we've heard it from all the way up here. They are hitting the ground hard, but none of them lay there. They get right back up, and they are ready to keep fighting for their team. As we have a 10-point difference here with 4 minutes left in the game.
Again, you know, you can't say that either team that wins the victory is easy. Both teams are working extremely hard defensively and offensively to get every single bucket, whether it be getting inside, having to stop, pivot, change, cut, or, you know, keeping their eyes open on the perimeter to find who's open. They're really having to fight and scrape for every bucket.
Exactly, and I mean, we've seen them just get, I don't want to say get scrappy, but I mean, they're going, they're ready to just they're ready to lay it all out here for the end of this game. And we saw Southeast do it last game. I mean, there was maybe 6 minutes left in the fourth. It was a closer game, but still, they were fighting, and they came back, and then that's when they took it to overtime to ultimately end up winning in overtime after some people were writing them off after the second half. So anything is still possible here in Palmetto.
Definitely so. Anything is possible. We saw this team, like you said, in the home of the Mustangs, on the road, not even at their own house, take that game when everything looked dire, I should say. However, they did put up a little bit more of a fight in the beginning of the second half. Hopefully some of that flame comes back into this point of the game right now. Maybe they can fight and battle back and try to play a little bit more clean game. They've been getting a lot of great looks from the free throw, which the Tigers have been converting. 31-43. Scott has the ball. He's up on the wing. Gonna get the screen and he's gonna use it. Use that to go inside. Floats it over. What a floater. Perfect.
And we are right back to a 10-point game here with less than 4 minutes left to play.
Gamble doesn't go right. The Tigers are coming down. They give it to Ingram, their leading scorer on the night. And he's dancing. He's going to give it to the big man Moore. He's going to go to work on the inside, spins to his left, gets the defender off his feet, finishes with his right. Great work there from Paul Moore. Back the other way. Scott has it at the top of the key. 3 minutes, and he's going to take a deep three. Has not worked for him all night, and he's been shooting them a lot. That pass tip there. Let's check the replay. Look at the big man going to work, dancing, spinning, staying disciplined, using the pump fake. He's Bob the Builder. He's using all his tools down there to craft himself a basket.
Exactly. You'd love to see it. This nice shot there by Tavares Powell.
TJ Powell knocked down a great three there, and another timeout is going to be called.
Well, as I sit here, I'm watching Southeast. I wonder what their coach is saying to them. I mean, like you said, you talked to them at the half, and just they came into the second half starting off strong. And I wonder, we have 3 minutes left here at the end of the fourth, or towards the end of the fourth. What do you think that Southeast's coach is saying to him, Frederick?
I think that the coach is just telling them, like, hey, you know, right now we gotta play clean. We gotta maximize every basket. Also in high school, remember, there's no shot clock, so we gotta force them to turn over. We gotta force these guys to play. We gotta force these guys to put the ball on the ground. We gotta force them to rush passes. We gotta force them to rush shots, because without that, what happens is they get to run the clock out for free. And with high school, a possession can last from anywhere from 1 second to 3 minutes.
I couldn't have said it perfect myself, Frederick.
Back in the action, there the Seminoles going to work immediately. Gonna drop that one on the inside, kick it to the corner to open. Man, Robertson puts up the three, hits the side of the backboard.
Little fight there, but it is going to be Seminoles ball as it goes off one of the Palmetto defenders.
Back the other way, Andrews going to work. Gonna be a turnover there. They're gonna float that one in to Robertson, and he's gonna fall.
Looks like Palmetto was trying to challenge that a little bit, but it seems like he just went out before he fell.
And that he did, so Seminoles get bailed out on that one. 2 minutes and 25 seconds. The clock is running faster and faster. Great defense there from Saunders, able to get his hand in between. Turnover. They're back the other way. Ingram finds the backboard and finds the bucket. 2:12 and counting. As we get closer and closer to the end of the regulation, the more and more dire a similar situation seems. Andrews wide open, can't get it to go. Rebounded by Saunders, who's being attacked. He gets it out of his hands. They're running. They have the numbers. Go inside. What a great dump off there from Ingram.
Wow.
Threading the needle there on that one. Going to cause a timeout. 30 seconds, which turns to a full.
Like we were saying earlier, it can get loud in here, and just right there, it was getting loud. As, I mean, Palmetto they're just fighting strong, and you'd love to see it.
Yeah, look at that. Oh my goodness. No look. Got both of the defenders turning their heads like, what? What was that? Bullet flies right past them, right into the hands of, I believe, who finished that one? I believe that was number 2, Kelly. But we definitely know Ingram had his hands on him. He's had his hands on the whole game. He's been absolutely instrumental in this team being able to be where they are right now. His early, strong three-point shooting, and now his great passing and some finishing as well. He's been a great player, and I would say probably player of the game so far.
You know, I completely agree with you, Frederick. I mean, for this last quarter, he had already proved it, but he just solidified the fact that he has been unstoppable tonight, and not just at the three, he's showing that he can make shots anywhere on this court.
100%. Back the other way, the Seminoles are working. A foul is called. So the Seminoles inbound it here. 1:30 as we go. 36-49.
Palmetto is not letting up on the defense here. If anything, they're actually fighting more on their defense here just to solidify the fact that even though they may be up 13, they're not done. They're still fighting.
Great defense there. If you look on the backside while Palmetto's in their zone, great communication from the big man. They're trading off players, and they're making sure no one goes unaccounted for. Traveling violation, and he's not happy at all.
I will say I have noticed a lot that Palmetto, when they get those turnovers, they're really successful with it, and they run, and they go.
Number 10, Francis, was not happy at all. Minute left now. Fouls going to go inside, gets the call. Body-to-body contact on the floater. Going to lead to some clutch free throw shots he needs to make if this team even has a chance or a thought of coming back in this game. And some substitutions being made here. Powell at the line has to make these count. He's been absolutely great on both sides of the court. A big defender trying to hold back number 5, Jordan Ingram. And really when he's guarding him, he's not scoring as much. But when he's not, Jordan's letting him fly. As they intentionally foul now. And that's going to be Scott's second foul. So they're going to go down and shoot 2. 5 team fouls now. And shout out to the Tigers, giving a shout out to MSTV. It's our pleasure to be here. And we have, again, some amazing students from MTC and from the local high schools able to bring you this amazing broadcast. I'm actually standing to one myself, and he's rocking a nice pair of cowboy boots. Which may not be the best shoes in this situation as we've been standing this whole time, but we do it for the love of the game.
Exactly. Everything's for the love of the game here. And just, I want to emphasize we appreciate the hospitality from not just Palmetto, but all the schools we go to. We couldn't be more grateful.
Definitely so. Another foul there on the Tigers. Number 10, Francois, picking up 2 fouls in his time in the game. 32.6 seconds remaining. And this game looks all but closed out here for the Tigers.
It's been a hard-fought battle for both teams here. They are both proving their worth. And even though their records may not show it, they are both powerful teams who, if they're put in a good situation and they can properly work as one well-oiled machine, they can do anything.
Definitely so. And 24-23, looks like they might just run out the clock here. No foul, no shot, no. They're trying to give it to the big man, and he drops it in, and the crowd erupts. Getting Francois some points there. And with that, this game comes to an end. Amazing effort from the Seminoles, especially during that second quarter rally, holding everyone to such little points there. And, there's not enough to overcome this Tiger pursuit. Palmetto Tigers are able to come in here and really go to work on a high level. We've had some historical things happen, and we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, as we try to get an interview with Mr. Wilmore Fowler as he's had his jersey retirement. I believe he's going to be making his way up here in a second. But again, the Palmetto Tigers have been doing absolutely phenomenal here.
It's been an amazing game here for Palmetto, and not just for Palmetto. Southeast played really good too. Like I was saying earlier, both these teams are strong and powerful in their own ways. I mean, I loved seeing the fight in Southeast, especially from Wade Perkins and Powell, and just the whole team in general. They were fighting till the very end. So we love to see it, and we will be back to you. We will be back to you shortly with an interview with Mr. Fowler himself.
And ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by Palmetto Tiger, well, not only Palmetto Tiger, but Manatee County legend, Mr. Wilmore Fowler, who had his jersey retired tonight. How does that make you feel?
It feels great. It feels great that I was remembered 40 years ago, but better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never.
Yes, yes.
Tell us about 1977. How was it, only having 3 high schools in Manatee County at the time?
Yes, there's 3 high schools, us, Southeast, and Manatee, and we was the little underdogs, as they call it. But we won the state in basketball. Well, we went to the state in basketball in 76. 77 was my senior year. It was like 25-6 that year. I was first team All-American, first team All-State that year. I had a lot of help with my team. That was a great year. 77 was a real great year.
And the last question, what does it mean to you seeing Manatee County, especially Palmetto High, grow over these last couple of years?
It means a lot
You've
to
been
me.
very involved.
Yes,
you've been coaching.
Yes, I've been coaching. It means a lot to me. We've seen the kids that have improved, working hard, playing together as a family, because here at Palmetto, we are a family. Pride sticks together. So
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay.
Mr. Fowler, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. And ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you at home for supporting MSTV, because without you, we wouldn't have amazing moments like this. We hope to see you again soon. But until then, have a great night.
All right. Thank you.